Greetings and welcome to another Lessons with Odin. This episode is kind of spiffy because I really wanted to make a ring, and then I wanted to make another ring, and then I decided to join the rings together. So this is what I came up with this joint ring aesthetic-y type thing. Now you can go through all of the steps to create this piece. You can make just the big ring, just the small ring, put the small ring on the big ring, and make this, or not make this, because it is kind of tetchy when it comes to sizing. As you can kind of see, I was experimenting with this one, but, yep, that's what we're doing. This is also going to be a two-part video. This first video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the main giant ring. And the second part, I'm going to show you how to make the joint ring and how to join these two together. So be sure you are subscribed, do the bell shit, make sure you are notified so that you know when I post these. But next week is going to be the one where I post the rest of it, because this one is quite chunky. Stay tuned for that. And it's actually not that complicated, it just, designing this gave me a very, very large headache. But I'm sure you will have an easier time with it. For this project, you will need 4 crescent beads, 10 Diamonduos if you plan on making the whole thing. This one here requires 6. I've got 2 in the joint, and then 2 more in the upper ring. You will need a 6mm round pearl and a 4mm round pearl. I've got 1 there. The 4mm there. You will need 7 4mm bicones, and optionally a dangly part. You can also make these as pendants. I have a spiffy video on making bails, so that will help you out in making bails if you want to make a pendant out of any of these, or even earrings. Look for that up here. You will also need size 11 seed beads and size 15 seed beads. It's probably better that they match, unless you want to play with some trickery on whatever points you want to do and make it 2-colored, but for right now, just 1 is probably good enough. And of course, your needle and thread. I'm using Hercules thread, I think it's 6 pound, I can't remember, and a size 12 tulip needle. With all that being said, let us get started. Alright, so the first thing we are going to do is start off our anchor ring of the bottom. We're working on the bottom ring. So, we're going to thread on a pattern of size 15, crescent, size 15, Gemduo, size 15, crescent, size 15, 2 Gemduos, and then repeat that pattern so that we have 2 sets of the same pattern. Make sure your crescents and your Gemduos are all facing in the same direction, and that we all have the bottom holes threaded. Just take a look at that for a brief moment to make sure you got everything strung properly, and then we will continue. You're going to bring it down, leaving a reasonably sized tail. You can use it to create the ring and the dangly parts. So, after you've got all those strung in together, we are going to pass back through each one of these beads once more to form a loop, and then tie a knot with the working thread and the tail. So just go down there, go all the way through, pull it tight, tie a knot with the tail and the working thread. Alright, so this is what your piece looks like so far. My knot is in between a final size 15 and a Diamonduo. I'm going to add 2 size 15s, a 4mm bicone, 2 size 15s. I am going to jump over the 15 crescent 15 and pass through the bottom hole of the next Diamonduo, so that the 4mm is on top of the crescent. Once more, 2 size 15s, a 4mm, 2 size 15s, jump over the next crescent bead, and then pass through the next 2 Diamonduos. And then you'll repeat that with the other 2 sets to make sure all 4 of the crescent beads are covered. like that, and it's going to look like an obnoxious mess until you pull everything tight. So my thread is currently coming out of a Gemduo. I'm going to step up to the 4mm beads by passing up through the two size 15s that are next to the 4mm, and then the 4mm itself. Then you're going to add a size 15, a size 11, a size 15, and pass through the next 4mm on the round, and repeat that all the way around. Next, you're going to thread on your 6mm pearl, and we're going to work with these two bicones across from each other to make a figure 8 to cinch it in place. So my thread is coming out of the right side of this 4mm bicone. I'm going to pass through the left side of the bicone across the way, and work so that my pearl sits in the middle. Then I'm going to pass through my pearl again, and pass through the opposite side of the bicone that we started from. It's up to you if you want to reinforce the pearl. I don't think it's necessary because you're going to cinch it up and put something to secure it in place in the next few rows. But that is what you end up with. Now we're just going to pop the 11 points in between the bicones. So, I'm coming out of a bicone right now. I'm just going to pass through the first size 15, skip over the size 11, pass through the next size 15, the next bicone, and the next size 15. Pull it down and push it so that the size 11 pops up. Repeat that all the way around with all the remainder of the 11os. And all those points are starting to point towards the center. Now I'm going to step up. I'm coming out of a bicone bead, so now I'm going to pass through a size 15 and a size 11. I'm going to add another size 15, size 11, size 15, jump all the way over to the next size 11 seed bead on the bezel, pull tight, so that they start to cinch together. Size 15, size 11, size 15, jump over to the next size 11, and repeat. And that is what you end up with. Now you're going to want to reinforce that top ring to make sure everything is cinched tight. You can pop the points as well if you'd like a little bit more tension towards the center, but as you'll find out, if you reinforce it, it will the next set of size 11s will automatically pop up. So it's up to you what you would like to do. And that is what we end up with. Next, we're going to work on decorating around the Diamonduos on the bottom. So I'm just going to sneak down there from the size 11 that I am at, and I'm going to go down the size 15, then go down the two size 15s there, finally through the bottom hole of the Gemduo. I'm working with a single Gemduo. If you end up on a double, you can just come back to the step when you're there, because I'm going to show you how to do that for the ring band. So, we're going to start with this. So I'm coming out of the bottom hole of this Diamonduo. I'm going to add 4 size 15 seed beads and pass through the top hole of the same one. Add 4 more and pass back through the same hole so that both sides get covered. Then I'm going to snake up the 4 size 15s from the first side. I'm going to add 2 size 15s, 1 size 11, 2 size 15s, go through the top hole to wrap those around. Then I'm going to reinforce by passing through those 5 beads again, and then move down towards the bottom hole of the Diamonduo by passing through the 4 seed beads that were already there. And that is how you wrap the single Gemduo. Now move around the circle all the way over until you are at the far side of the pair of Diamonduos. So, you'll be passing through the seed bead, Crescent seed bead. You'll pass through the 2 Gemduos to get where you want after that. So I'm coming out of the bottom hole of the far Gemduo. I'm adding 4 size 15 seed beads and passing through the top hole of the same Gemduo. I'm adding a size 15, a 4mm bicone, and a size 15, and passing it through the top hole of the next Gemduo. Adding 4 more seed beads, then I'm going to pass through the bottom holes of both Gemduos. If it gets tricky to get them both at once, feel free to do it just one at a time. So I'm back at the opposite side. I'm going to snake up the 4 size 15s again. I'm going to add 3 size 15s and pass through the size 15 that is next to the bicone. I'm going to add 6 size 15s and pass through the next size 15 across the bicone to wrap that up. Add on 3 more size 15s, pass down through the 4 on the other side of the other Gemduo. Now I'm going to pass through the Gemduos once more in order to get to the opposite side so that we can start our ring band. So I'm on the opposite side. I'm going to go up the 4 again, going up the next 3 so that we move over towards the bicone, and pass through that seed bead near the bicone. Then I'm going to pass through 4 of the 6 beads on top of the bicone. Then I'm going to start my ring band with the ladder stitch. So you can do these with size 15s, but if you're working with a thick thread, you might not be able to get multiple passes through the size 15s to reinforce it and make a nice clean shape. So I'm sticking with size 11s because I had such a headache with the other ones on the other ring, so I'm not going to live that life again. So I'm adding 2 size 11s, and I'm passing back through the center of the size 15 beads in front of the bicone. Stack them on top. I'm going to pass back through and do a bit of a reinforcement, passing back through the size 15s, then going back through the 2 size 11s. Add on your 2 size 11s, pass back through the previous row, go through the frontmost row, down the previous row, through the front. Repeat that until you have the ring band of the size that you want, and repeat on the single Gemduo to wrap around like here, the double one to add your bicone and continue your ring band. Alright, once you have your ring band completed, you're going to move over to the opposite side of your ring where the bicone is. You're going to wrap around the bail and take note as to what side is what. So I'm coming out of the bottom right side, so I'm going to count up to the 2 center size 15s that are on top of the bicone and pull that through. Then I'm going to wrap back through the 2 11s that I've started from, and that is a completed join. Then I'm going to reinforce it once or twice and maybe end my thread. Next is the part where we deal with our dangly drop. So, you're either going to attach a new thread or move over if you have enough thread already on hand. You're going to go through and make sure you are coming out of the size 11 seed bead on the very tip of the single Gemduo. Now I have a video on doing different kinds of drops and how to hang them. Since mine is a little unconventional, I'm going to show you how I did it with this one if you have something large and wide. But I'll kind of guide you through the one with this simpler drop, and I'll also leave links to the video where I did a bunch of different bails depending on how what your orientation of your drop is. So for this one, I'm adding on a size 15, size 11, a bicone, size 11, 3 size 15s, a size 11, my drop, because this drop eats size 15, so I put the 11 there to block it. Finally, another size 11 and 3 size 15s. I'm going to pass back through the size 11, the bicone, and the size 11, skipping all of those beads, the 3, 1, drop, 1, 3, pulling that tight, adding on 1 size 15, then passing through the opposite side of the size 11 that I started from on the main ring. Then I'm going to reinforce this and end my thread. For the smaller drop, all I did was something similar. I added 6 size 15s, my drop, and 3 size 15s. Then I skipped the first 3, drop 3, passed back up the next 2 size 15s, added on another size 15, and then went back through the main size 11, reinforced it, and ended my threads. And once you have done that, you will have completed your main ring, which by itself is quite pretty and adorable, and, you know, you could just stop there if you'd wanted to. But if you want to be quite extra like me, I will have the next video up for the joint ring up here, as well as the connection piece. Now, pay no mind to this connection piece, I messed up, so it's going to look a lot nicer in the next video. So be sure you are subscribed, ring that bell, whatever, so that you know when this gets posted, because this is quite cute too. So, all pertinent links are down below. That will do it from me. Be sure to like up this video and subscribe if you want to see more bullshit from me. Show me all of your color combinations on what you did, because I want to see what you've done. So share pictures with me of your initial ring down in our Facebook group at Creations from Lessons with Odin. I always love seeing what you guys have done. I saw pictures of the little vine earrings that we did earlier this month, or last month, I don't know, time is meaningless to me, but I've seen some of you guys do this pattern, and that really, really made me happy, so please do share! Share! I like to see what you do. Check out all of my other internet shenanigans and follow me around social media. All pertinent links are down below. And thank you to all my Patreon supporters over on Patreon. Your support helps me out a lot, so that I can bring these tutorials to you, as well as help me with my medical expenses and all that other crap that I have to deal with on a daily basis. So, if you want to be a patron and get exclusive jewelry making tutorials every month that is not posted on YouTube for $1 a month, check out my Patreon page. The link is down below. And yes, follow me around, share with me stuff, do the things, and thank you all so much for joining me. Of course, if there's anything I need to be trying out right now, feel free to let me know down below. I will see you next time.